What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, the road to 200 subs has now officially come to a close, and we are now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows, maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year. Excuse me. Only time will tell, but as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store, so be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, the possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull my second ever Collector's Rare. Because it wouldn't be the first time that I pulled a Collector's Rare, because I also pulled this. Freshly pulled from my Genesis Impact box opening that I did several months back is this Collector's Rare Beat Cop from the Underworld. If you guys did not check out that opening, I recommend you guys check it out. I honestly did not realize that this was a Collector's Rare until I moved the card like this, and I'm like, oh shit, it's a Collector's Rare. So judging by the centering, it is a bit off from top to bottom, but it is okay. It still has the potential to be a PSA 10 at some point. I will be getting it graded at some point. I just really don't know when. But with that being said, you guys, if you guys want to see these boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos. Excuse me. Or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and be sure to follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, in a way, it kind of ties into this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, which is this. What match do you guys want to see take place at Crown Jewel next month? Let me know down in the comments below, because for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, I'm going to be giving an in-depth review of this past Saturday's Fastlane Premium Live event. Now, for those who are new to this channel, the way this works is this. Even though I did the results of the card Saturday night following Fastlane, every Monday that we have a post-premium live event, Raw, if you will, on Mondays after the premium live event, I always do a review of each match on the card, give my take on it, and reveal the results, you know, and point out some of the key factors that were in each match, and give my rating on each match on the card, and give my full rating of the whole card itself from 1 star to 5 stars. That's what I've actually been doing for the last year or so, last year and a half or something. So I cannot wait to talk about Fastlane. So let's not waste any time, and let's get straight into it. Kicking these off, we got Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso challenging the Judgment Day for the undisputed tag team titles. Now, obviously, we know that last month at Payback, Balor and Priest were able to defeat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to win said undisputed tag team titles, sorry guys, my camera moved. Anyway, which actually made Finn Balor a Grand Slam champion, not only have becoming Universal Champion, not only becoming a US champion and an Intercontinental Champion, an NXT champion, but also now a tag team champion as well, which honestly, we never would have imagined Balor as a tag team champion, you know? Obviously, yes, he may have been a tag team champion outside of WWE, you know, in New Japan Pro Wrestling and obviously in his homeland in Ireland, but aside from that, never would have imagined. But what I find so interesting about this is that this is actually the first time in what seems like a little over a decade now that both Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso had teamed up together at one point. This is the first time in such a long time, because if you guys remember, the last time these two teamed up, it was both these guys plus Jimmy Uso taking on the Shield. And ironically enough, who was in the Shield? None other than the undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns, ironically enough. So this was a bit of a, I guess when it comes to Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso teaming up together, obviously yes, there was a little bit of ring rust, but think about this: Jey Uso cost Cody Rhodes the chance to become undisputed champion earlier this year at WrestleMania. Think about that. But yet, for some reason, they were able to gel so perfectly together. It literally looked like as if they had teamed up for years. They had been a team for years, and in spite of all the chaos with Rhea Ripley, with Dominic Mysterio, with JD McDonough getting involved, with Rhea Ripley distracting Jey Uso, in spite of JD McDonough accidentally hitting Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank briefcase, buckling his left knee. It was actually his left knee. Buckling the left knee. In spite of all the chaos, Cody and Jey were able to pick up the victory, as Cody Rhodes was able to hit Balor with Crossroads to win the tag team titles for him and Jey Uso. And honestly, this was absolutely nuts. It was literally the first, literally it was the first match of the whole card, and it was already on fire. This was an easy 4-star match, no doubt about it. Could this match have ended differently? Yes. I feel like if JD McDonough not have hit Priest in the knee with the briefcase, I think Judgment Day would have retained. But knowing Rhea, it ain't gonna sit too pretty with her, if you will. She may convince Adam Pearce to give Judgment Day a rematch for the tag titles at some point, but given how bad the injury was, I think it's pretty safe to say we won't be seeing Rhodes and Uso defend the titles against the Judgment Day at all anytime soon, unless if it was Balor and Mysterio, or if it was Balor and McDonough, then maybe, but who knows? Only time will tell. But this match, 4 stars easy. Next up we have Carlito. Next up we have the LWO and the return of Carlito. Yes, you heard me right. Carlito take on the team of the almighty Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. And what I find interesting is that you look at what happened this past Friday on SmackDown. The Street Profits were able to take out Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde of the LWO. Thus, it was only just two. Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio, the Hall of Famer. And Rey was like, you know what? I know a guy. Let me make a call, and let's see what happens. And so as I talked about on Saturday, literally the first 80% of the match was all 3-on-2. 3-on-2 handicap match. Rey and Santos were able to hold their own against Lashley and the Street Profits. But right as we get to the 20%, the last minute, the final minutes of the match, Carlito comes out, new entrance music, mind you, makes the tag, and he ends up picking up the victory for the team by hitting the backstabber onto Montez Ford. Now, obviously this is the first loss for the Lashley Street Profits trio, which I'm assuming Lashley is not gonna like. Literally, Bobby Lashley is not gonna like it, and he's probably going to like do something stupid with the Street Profits, like maybe like just like verbally abuse them and just talk all this shit and all this shit and whatnot. And it may convince the fans to feel sorry for the Profits, which might turn them back babyface, which it is a possibility. It is a possibility, but we found out as well that Carlito, we got breaking news on this. Carlito is back in WWE full time as a member of the active roster on SmackDown, and there's been a lot of rumors going around saying that he is joining the LWO. I believe that might be the case, but we will find out over time. We might find out this Friday on SmackDown. Only time will tell, but honestly, Carlito joining the LWO, I think is perfect. I think it's great that if he does join the LWO, it'll be a perfect way to help Rey Mysterio teach the rest of the LWO about the business and how the business truly works, especially when you're a champion like Rey Mysterio, who is the United States champion. So it'll be perfect. It'll be absolutely perfect. This was absolutely incredible. This is a 3-star match. 3 stars, hands down. Could this match have ended differently? Yes. I think if Carlito hadn't have shown up and no one else was able to show up, Lashley and the Profits would have won. They would have won, no doubt about it. I think the chemistry between Lashley and the Profits, it's there, but it needs work. So I feel like that maybe the LWO could have lost this match, but at this point it's hard to say. It's hard to say at this point, but again, 3 stars, no cap. Next up, we got the second title match for the WWE Women's title, which is a triple threat match between the champion Io Sky and the challengers Charlotte Flair and Asuka. And crazy enough, opening bell, Io Sky gets taken out by Charlotte Flair. Asuka hits Flair with the miss, and Io Sky stops the count, stops the pin from happening, and Charlotte Flair gets ejected from the match for the first, I'll say 30% of the match. After that, it was back and forth between both Asuka and Io. This was literally everything you would expect. You know, Io Sky said it best on the Fastlane press conference on Saturday. This was something that she had always dreamt about. You know, a match involving her, Asuka and Charlotte Flair, because even she said it best that both Charlotte and Asuka are two of the all-time greats in WWE right now. So by Io Sky defeating both of them, not only would she have established her dominance as a champion, but she would have established herself as a future all-time great in WWE, even though she's already one of the all-time greats in Japan. So honestly, this was actually perfect for Io, but as we got towards the end of the match, Bayley came out, helped Io. Charlotte Flair, closing moments. Io Sky had hit Charlotte Flair with over the moonsault. Even though Flair had Asuka in the figure 8 and Asuka was tapping out, Bayley distracted the referee to ensure that Io was able to hit that moonsault, and she was able to defeat Charlotte Flair to retain the WWE Women's title. Could this match have ended differently? Honestly, it's hard to say. I think even with Bayley, I think even if Bayley did listen to Io and she stayed away from the match, no, I think Charlotte Flair would have been a 15-time champion, because this would have proved that Io Sky, so in the eyes of some people, this match would have proved that Io Sky was not ready for that main event stage in WWE. So Charlotte Flair definitely would have been a 15-time champion. There's no way Io would have won if it wasn't for Bayley. But at this point now, Io Sky now has to prove that she deserves to remain WWE Women's Champion. She needs to prove that, not just to herself, not just to Bayley, but to the entire WWE and the entire WWE universe, that she deserves to remain WWE Women's Champion. And I think personally, in my opinion, a one-on-one rematch between Flair and Sky, with Damage Control completely ejected from ringside, is definitely the right move. It's definitely the right move to go, the right path to take, if you will. I think that's probably what's best. But if it happens, that's awesome. If not, it's all good. I think Io Sky definitely needs to prove her worth in my honest opinion. But this match, again, four stars. This was absolutely incredible. 4 stars. Not much else to say about that. Next up, the co-main event. The first of 2 main events. This one was probably one of the most unique main events we had seen in quite some time. As John Cena, the GOAT, the 16-time champion, teamed up with L.A. Knight, to take on the Bloodlines, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. And here's what I find so interesting about this match. Jimmy Uso was the one that started the implosion of the Bloodline earlier this year at Night of Champions. Think about that. Think about that, guys. Jimmy Uso hit Roman Reigns with a super kick. Not once, not twice, but 3 times at Night of Champions, which gave Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn the victory, which then led to the Usos taking on Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at Money in the Bank in London. Jey Uso was able to pin the champion, which led to Jey Uso challenging Roman at SummerSlam, and Jimmy Uso decides to stab his own twin in the back. I said it before, I will say it again. That's like watching your girlfriend cheat on you with your best friend, and then your girlfriend saying, "Oh, you were never here, so you weren't here for me, so I decided to go with this guy." It's that right there is about as low as it can get. That is as low as it can get. And now Jimmy Uso is saying, "Oh, I never left the bloodline, so I'm still in the bloodline." Think about this. Jey Uso was the one that told Jimmy Uso, told his own twin that he was out the bloodline. This proves that that Jimmy Uso trying to get back into the bloodline makes no sense whatsoever. It literally does not, honestly. But surprisingly enough, I'm actually shocked that both Jimmy and Solo were able to gel so well together. It's the same thing with both LA Knight and John Cena. Both Knight and Cena were able to gel so well together. I'm actually surprised, because this was a back and forth match. This was absolutely incredible. But the closing moments of the matchup, LA Knight was able to hit Jimmy Uso with blunt force trauma, the BFT, to win the match with John Cena. And then he decided to take John Cena's hand and raise it high over their heads, because John Cena did that to LA Knight last month at Payback. It would only be right if LA Knight reciprocated the sentiment. Honestly, I don't know. So someone asked both John Cena and LA Knight during the press conference if there could be tag team gold in their future. I don't know. I don't think it would work out so well, because LA Knight is more of an individualist rather than a tag team person. And ironically enough, John Cena is a 4-time tag team champion. Let's not forget, Cena is a 4-time champion. As a tag team person, 4 times. Shawn Michaels, Batista, David Otunga, and The Miz. Think about that. 4-time tag team champion with 4 different people, and a combined reign of at least 5, maybe 6 months at the most. 7 months at the max. That proves that John Cena can gel pretty well with someone as a tag team champion. But LA Knight, this was all new to him. So now the question becomes, with this match now in the record books, what's next for LA Knight? Could we potentially see, if Roman Reigns returns to, when Roman Reigns returns to WWE, could we potentially see War Games in the future featuring Cena, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Carl Anderson taking on the Bloodline? Could we see that? It's possible. It's the same thing with Judgment Day. Balor, Priest, Dom, and JD McDonough against Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Think about that. It is a very high possibility, because the rivalry between Judgment Day and Jey Uso and Rhodes and KO and Sami, the rivalries that all 8 of these men have had since after WrestleMania, it's been brewing since then. It's escalated to heights we had never thought possible. So maybe it might happen as Survivor Series inside of War Games. It's possible, but only time will tell. But as far as this match goes, 3 stars easy. Could this match have ended differently? Honestly, it's hard to say. I don't think it would have ended differently, but because of the fact that Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa trying to get the tag team ring rust out of the way, there was no way that both Jimmy and Solo were gonna win. There was no way. So I don't think there was, but only time will tell. But now we move into the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship between Seth freaking Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. Last man standing. Honestly, there's really nothing to talk about. The match speaks for itself. There were kendo sticks. There were tables. There were chairs. There was a ladder. There was the announce table. There was literally a trash can. Nunchucks. This match went all over the place. There was even red mist paying homage to the Hall of Famer, the Great Muta, and every time Seth Rollins just kept getting up, getting up, even at the cost of his own lower back. Think about that. And the closing moments of a stomp, a pedigree, and a Falcon Arrow from within the stands of the WWE Universe onto two tables was what did Nakamura in, and Seth freaking Rollins became the last man standing. Honestly, I did not think that Seth Rollins was gonna win that match, but shockingly enough, he did. 5 stars easy, hands down. Could this match have ended differently? I mean, it's Seth freaking Rollins. He'll fight till he can't anymore, so I don't think it would have ended. I think it would have went on for weeks if that was the case, but the whole card itself, absolutely incredible. History was indeed made. We crowned new tag team champions. Io Sky retained her title. Seth retained his title. Carlito came back. We saw Pat McAfee return as well. 4 stars. 4-star card easily, hands down. Now the question becomes this: as we're now on the road to Crown Jewel, what's next? What will happen next? Only time will tell, and we will find out starting tonight on Raw. We will see what happens with the fallout of Fastlane. But with that being said, that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.